Welcome back to the GreenMech TV channel. An intense storm season brought Hurricane Helene's fury to the CSRA. Fierce wind gusts ripped through homes and trees, and rainfall totals exceeded 12 inches in key towns, causing major flooding and structural damage. Streets became rivers, and power outages spread rapidly across communities. Through photo and video, this clip captures the aftermath. A vivid reminder that resilient flood protection systems aren't just helpful, they're essential. When Hurricane Ian struck, it left behind a trail of devastation. Entire neighborhoods were flooded, streets were buried under piles of broken wood and metal, and once bustling harbors were filled with overturned boats. Fallen trees blocked the roads, tangled power lines lay across yards, and debris of every kind stretched as far as the eye could see. The storm's force was overwhelming, and the aftermath demanded urgent action. That's where heavy-duty cleanup machines come in. Here, the Rotobec Elite 915 Grapple truck, custom-built by Apex, takes the stage. Mounted on a powerful chassis, its hydraulic boom extends outward to seize shattered trees, twisted wreckage, and massive piles of debris. With precision and speed, the reinforced grapple claws clamp down and lift heavy loads, clearing block by block. This isn't just cleanup. It's restoring safety, reopening vital roads, and helping communities rise again after the storm. Machines like the Elite 915 transform chaos into recovery. When hurricane season ends, the aftermath becomes clear. Streets are lined with fallen trees, torn-off roofs, and scattered debris. Effective cleanup starts with smart preparation and organized debris removal. Household waste, yard debris, and construction fragments must be separated and placed neatly at the curbside, never blocking roads, fire hydrants, or mailboxes. Local collection services prioritize household garbage first, then move on to storm-related debris. Specialized crews and equipment follow, collecting piles efficiently while communities remain safe and mobile. This systematic process helps debris flow smoothly from streets to proper disposal or recycling facilities, keeping neighborhoods clear and ready for rebuilding. Smart preparation means faster recovery. And in every hurricane wake, organized cleanup becomes the foundation for community resilience. When hurricane season looms, securing your yard becomes critical. Remove loose debris, lawn furniture, broken branches, and clutter that could scatter dangerously in high winds. Trim back weak limbs and clear vegetation well before the storm warning is issued to avoid collection delays or hazards. After the storm passes, organize debris into separate piles, vegetative waste, construction scraps, and bulky items. Place them neatly at the curb, clear of drains, mailboxes, and driveways to ensure efficient pickup. Proper yard prep and debris sorting not only speed recovery but also protect crews and enable cleanup machinery to get to work smoothly in restoring our communities. St. Petersburg is tackling the aftermath of Hurricane Ian with massive citywide cleanup efforts. Fallen trees, damaged fences, and storm debris clutter every street, posing safety risks and obstructing recovery efforts. Residents are asked to separate vegetative waste from household trash, placing debris neatly at the curb, clear of sidewalks, drains, and fire hydrants for efficient pickup. Meanwhile, municipal teams and debris contractors sweep through neighborhoods, collecting and safely disposing of materials at approved facilities. This organized response isn't just about clearing mess. It's the backbone of rebuilding resilience, one block at a time. Hurricane aftermath often leaves streets littered with debris, fallen trees, and waterlogged waste. In Merced County, CalRecycle teamed up with state and local partners to launch 2023 storm cleanup efforts, bringing technical expertise to support residents in Planada and McSwain. Crews followed guidelines to sort debris safely, handle hazardous materials with protective gear, and divert waste into recycling or safe disposal. It's a practical, community-first approach to help California communities rebuild and recover. In the wake of Hurricane Idalia, debris removal isn't just cleanup. It's the first step toward rebuilding. Fallen branches, damaged fencing, and flood-soaked items must be sorted and placed curbside. Residents in affected areas, such as Merced and Florida's Big Bend, are urged to separate storm debris into categories like vegetative waste, household trash, and bulky items to streamline pickup. Local agencies like CalRecycle and FEMA support these efforts, offering technical and financial assistance. Debris contractors, with oversight from FEMA and state departments, mobilize to remove and process storm-generated waste safely and efficiently. This structured approach speeds recovery, reduces hazards, and clears the way for communities to emerge stronger and ready for whatever comes next. Fresh storm damage lingers in every corner. Uprooted trees, broken branches, and scattered debris blanket neighborhoods. In this video, cleanup crews arrive promptly at the top of the hour, deploying chainsaws, loaders, and trucks to clear major roadways. They coordinate debris collection, separating hazardous materials from vegetative waste for safe disposal. This efficient, round-the-clock response restores access and safety, demonstrating how timing, tools, and teamwork form the foundation of resilient recovery. After all, clean streets lead to stronger communities. Hurricane Maria, a devastating Category 5 storm, left a landscape unrecognizable. Floodwaters swamped streets, roofs were torn from homes, and electricity and phone networks vanished overnight. In Puerto Rico alone, nearly all 3.4 million residents lost power, communication towers fell, and landslides blocked most roads, crippling response efforts. Clinics collapsed, and access to clean water vanished. Even weeks later, large swaths remained in darkness, and relief teams faced staggering challenges reaching remote areas. This wasn't just a weather event, it was a catastrophic failure across systems. In such chaos, effective cleanup and infrastructure restoration become not just engineering tasks, but lifelines for surviving communities. When Hurricane Laura ripped through Lake Charles, it left behind a landscape of devastation, fallen trees, shredded yards, and overwhelmed homeowners. Operation Blessing's disaster relief teams quickly mobilized, arriving with chainsaws and cleanup supplies to restore order. Crews cleared tangled debris from Larry's property, turning a desperate situation into calm and safety. It was more than cleanup. It was relief, hope, and a community regaining its footing in the face of disaster. After Hurricane Hermine swept through, managing debris safely becomes critical. Always wear sturdy boots and puncture-resistant gloves to guard against hidden nails and glass. Treat all power lines as energized, never touch down cables, and report them immediately. Separate storm waste into distinct piles like vegetative debris, construction material, and appliances to keep the collection moving efficiently. The early hours of June 22nd brought one of the most destructive storms to hit northern Minnesota in recent memory. Buffeted by winds reaching 106 to 120 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane, the city of Bemidji endured widespread havoc. Trees were uprooted, power lines downed, and structures battered. Streets vanished beneath fallen branches. The storm's force left no neighborhood untouched, and infrastructures such as the historic Carnegie Library and MJB Home Center lay scarred and hollowed. Officials quickly declared a state of emergency, unlocking resources and funding to fast-track relief efforts. Within hours, snapshot assessments revealed tens of thousands without power and critical roadways blocked by debris. Junctions like Lake Avenue, Diamond Point Park, and campus areas became untouchable. Solidarity began on foot and in chainsaw convoys with neighbors, first responders, and line crews fighting to restore safety. This storm was more than local. It was part of a broader derecho event sweeping across the upper Midwest, where 34 tornadoes and 120 mph gusts struck in tandem, producing wide-scale damage. Bemidji was their northern focal point. Turn 0 Search 15. The magnitude was staggering. A county-wide tally later estimated $8.2 million in infrastructure loss, and an estimated 9 million trees uprooted. Destruction stretching far beyond what the eye could see. Cleanup began as dawn broke. Chainsaws hummed in parks. Crews coordinated to clear roadways and safely down power lines, while local authorities extended the emergency order for another 30 days to manage debris removal and secure funding. Community resilience was what carried them forward. Neighbors helping neighbors, emergency crews working in coordination, and organizations like the Red Cross stepping up to offer relief space and meals. In the face of staggering damage, restoration also sparked renewal. As roads reopened and power grids reanimated, Bemidji proved that even after nature's fiercest blow, strategic response and community unity can rebuild more resilient towns. It's a lesson written in fallen trees, reclaimed roads, and the swift, sustainable actions harnessed to rise again, stronger together. After Hurricane Laura struck Louisiana, debris piled high in neighborhoods, blocking roads and overwhelming communities. Operation Blessing sprang into action, mobilizing cleanup crews with chainsaws and collection trucks to clear fallen trees, damaged fencing, and scattered wreckage. With focused effort and generous support, they transformed chaos into calm, restoring access and peace of mind. It's a powerful reminder. Recovery begins when communities and technology come together in the storm's wake. In the wake of Hurricane Florence, Wilmington streets lay buried under vegetative debris and wrecked structures. DRC emergency services rolled in with heavy-duty vehicles, claw-equipped trucks clearing vast piles of tree limbs and rubble in minutes. Meanwhile, agile units tackled tighter spaces, working around downed power lines and fire hydrants. Every day, crews hauled away up to 30,000 cubic yards of debris, with the city's industrial-scale cleanup costing millions and stretching across weeks. Neighborhoods began to breathe again. It was not just debris removal. It was a critical lifeline, restoring safety, access, and the promise of recovery. The fury of Hurricane Irma left devastation across the southeast, especially in Florida and Georgia, where entire neighborhoods were scarred by wind, water, and wreckage. Recovery began with one overwhelming task: debris removal. Across the region, FEMA reported damages exceeding $4.2 billion, with debris operations alone accounting for nearly $1.5 billion of that total. In Miami-Dade County, crews cleared over 26,000 cubic yards of vegetative waste from roads and rights-of-way, a testament to both severity and swift action. In Cape Coral alone, city workers removed a staggering 318,000 cubic yards of vegetative debris and more than 22,000 cubic yards of construction material. Across the coast and waterways, state environmental agencies launched full-scale marine debris programs. Over 225 abandoned or damaged vessels were retrieved and removed, alongside floating docks and hazardous materials that threatened both navigation and marine ecosystems. Locally, Monroe County secured funding to rebuild sediment-cleared canals, vital to preventing future blockages, while Sarasota and Jacksonville communities drew on FEMA reimbursements to cover cleanup and disposal. This cleanup wasn't just road level. Ashbrit and other rapid response contractors spearheaded debris management across 110 federally declared disasters. Teams mobilized heavy machinery, sorting materials for safe disposal and recycling, ensuring that rubble removal wouldn't become another hazard. Across impacted neighborhoods, the approach was systematic. Vegetative waste, separated from household or construction debris, hazardous materials handled with care to prevent toxin spread, coastal pollution contained. From major highways to hidden canals, processing sites to ecosystems, every leg of the operation restored safety and order. By creating infrastructure for collection, sorting, and disposal, teams laid the groundwork for recovery, resiliency, and rebuilding. When Irma's winds finally ceased, it wasn't the power of a storm that defined the moment. It was the force of coordinated response. From muck and mangled timber, communities found clarity, showing how crisis transforms into comeback through preparation, technology, and unity. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, the city of Coconut Creek launched a coordinated debris removal program, unlike anything seen before in the community. Across neighborhoods, massive piles of fallen trees, broken fences, and storm-damaged construction materials lined the streets. Crews, supported by FEMA funding of more than $1.1 million, worked tirelessly to collect and safely dispose of nearly 89,000 cubic yards of waste. Specialized trucks, loaders, and contractors moved methodically, sorting vegetative debris from construction rubble to ensure safe transport. This cleanup was not just about removing what the storm had left behind. It was about creating the foundation for recovery. With every truckload hauled away, the city restored order and rebuilt hope, proving that even after devastation, resilience and planning can bring life back to normal. Coconut Creek's example shows how structured disaster management turns destruction into renewal. Hurricane Irma slammed into South Florida in September 2017 with ferocious force. Winds reached over 180 miles per hour, leaving 7 million homes without power and collapsing communication towers across the state. Coastlines were ravaged. Debris from uprooted trees, destroyed rooftops, and shattered infrastructure-littered neighborhoods. The destruction was staggering. Entire counties buried under a relentless layer of wreckage, from Biscayne Bay to the Florida Keys. Recovery meant first, managing a mountain of disaster debris.
Watch how quick he picks up this big pile of brush.
In Lee County, cleanup crews removed nearly 2 million cubic yards of hurricane debris over 4.5 months, equivalent to dozens of Olympic swimming pools. In neighboring Monroe County, crews gathered an estimated 2.5 million cubic yards, clearing flooded canals, broken piers, and coastal wreckage from the Keys. Farther north, Port St. Lucie reported over 110,000 cubic yards of vegetative waste alone. The sheer scale of debris underscored the monumental challenge facing storm recovery. Local governments, FEMA, and specialized contractors mobilized heavy machinery and streamlined debris management strategies. Debris was sorted, vegetative waste separated from construction refuse and hazardous materials. Collection crews operated day and night, coordinating routes and leveraging pre-established contracts. This organized system enabled efficient hauling, recycling, and safe disposal, balancing speed with environmental responsibility. Debris removal wasn't just a logistical operation, it was urgent environmental protection. Tons of decaying vegetation risked contaminating water and fueling fires. Scattered debris threatened wetlands. Meanwhile, the economic toll mounted. Florida's damage exceeded $50 billion, a record until Hurricane Ian. Agriculture losses topped $2.5 billion, with infrastructure damage and uninsured loss adding up across counties. Rapid cleanup was both a necessity and a lifeline for Florida's recovery. Communities across South Florida rose from the wreckage with determination. Streets cleared, power restored, and homes rebuilt. Each cleared pile represented progress. Cleanup was the groundwork for reopening schools, restoring economy, and reclaiming neighborhoods. Irma's impact was vast, but so too was the resolve. Coordinated preparation, expert response, and community strength transformed devastation into rebuilding, reminding us that resilience begins with recovery. Together, we can celebrate innovation that protects our planet. Support us with a like and subscribe to GreenMech TV, so you'll be the first to see our next journey.
There you have it. All from the Hurricane Irma, 2017. We're out of here. Catch you next time.